A warning before we begin this video, this has adult content and it is intended for people over the age of 18. So CICI, some more porn myths that we want to dispel right now are the size of men's penises. In pornography, the typical adult performer has a size 8-inch penis. What say you and porn performers, the female actresses, about the size, whether it's 8 inches or larger, that you encounter on the porn set?
Well, I want guys out there to know that the singular reason that companies hire men with large penises is because it's just technically easier for camera work. They want to make sure viewers can clearly and easily see all of the penetration shots. That's it. That's literally the only prerequisite for working in porn as a male. And those men who are of that size represent a very small subset of the general population.
For the record, the average penis size is 5.14.
Male porn performers are outliers. They're not the norm. And I'm going to tell you from my personal experience that most of us girls, we could not care less how big it is. We only have sex with those men for money. If anything, most porn stars, we wish that the guys were smaller because it would hurt less. Because we're already being subjected to like rough pounding sex. So for long periods of time, a large penis only exacerbates that discomfort. And I know so many girls who have, you know, when they've moved on from the business, they've gone on to date and marry men who are completely of average size, and they're so in love and happy. And perhaps this is just my opinion, but I do think that because there are some women who are kind of obsessive over the idea of having a man with a large penis. And I think perhaps that those women have also been influenced by porn misconceptions and porn consumption, perhaps, because I would say that those women are probably outliers and not the norm. Because from my experience, the average woman does not emphasize a man's size.
Right. Yeah. I would agree with that in my own anecdotal experience. Actually, that's actually a pretty good segue into another porn myth, which is men orgasming on women's face, coming on the face, the final shot, the cum shot on the face. So just before we even begin this, there is chatter on the internet. If you were to look this up, do women actually like this? And I know this because I'm doing a study that most girls do not like it. You can speak to your own experience, but I will say that there are some people online who will say, oh yeah, I like it. But I want to maybe put out the idea that perhaps, and maybe you can speak to this, that girls see a man coming on their face as validation that they really turned him on, and rather than it being something that's actually enjoyable to them. And that's a problem. If we're doing something or accepting something because it validates us in some way versus did we actually get pleasure from it? What's your experience in the industry, since this is where the whole idea of coming in a girl's face started? What is your take on that?
Well, we only do that in the videos because we don't have a say in the matter. It's a requirement. So that's number one. And number two, you can imagine the kind of things that we deal with on a daily basis working in porn. Mm-hmm. And yet, I swear, you could ask any girl, 9 out of 10 porn stars will tell you their least favorite part of their work day is the end. Is the end, where we literally were smeared in semen. Like, it makes our face break out. I've seen girls get rashes and pink eye.
Can I just say, as a small aside, for any boy that's watching this, if you're hearing CiCi say this, what you need to understand is that there is a person, she is a person who's being subjected to things in her work in order to get a paycheck that are uncomfortable, degrading, unenjoyable, unhealthy for her. How are we accepting a form of entertainment in this day and age where women have no say, no voice? We're worried about, paycheck inequality. And here we are having women who are literally being put in harm's way or being forced to do things that they don't even enjoy.
Yeah. So for the record, porn stars do facials because they don't have a choice. And and you're kind of everyday, your ordinary girls out there in the world do it, not because it's actually pleasurable for them, but because they've been brainwashed into receiving validation from the act.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. Because that's what they
I don't believe it's because they authentically enjoy it. It's because it validates them as like the superstar sex girl.
That's it.
Like a porn star.
Yes, that's what we've been taught.
Thank you.
It's understandable that, that girls are just like performing this program they've learned very well. So that's understandable. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How about women being called sluts and derogatory names? How do you actually feel about being called a slut or some sort of derogatory name?
This is just another aspect of something like we're powerless to control. As performers, we don't have a say in the like derogatory nature of the videos and the name calling and the bashing. Like, we just become conditioned to it over time and we get desensitized to it. Again, it's just like one of many ways in which men just make hate to us in videos. We don't have a choice.
In real life, CiCi, are you seeking out men saying derogatory things to you, calling you a slut, calling you all of those things?
So I think that like maybe some experimentation or exploration with dirty talk or whatever between like in an interpersonal relationship with good communication, like between very mutual consenting partners. I'm not going to knock that.
Right.
But as
I think that there's a difference though. I think there's a difference between dirty talk and role playing.
Yes.
Like you said, in a relationship versus men thinking that it's okay to call a woman a slut or a whore and all of those things when they're in bed with somebody. I mean, and today, if you're not in that relationship and you're just having sex with some girl at school, on campus, or a woman you met at a bar or whatever, it's not really acceptable. It's only acceptable in those kind of situations where, you're role playing or it's dirty talk, but it's not, the real hate-filled speech that comes from the porn industry.
Right. When there's been no like healthy communication between people and that sort of like authentic expression, I really doubt that the average woman is like seeking brutality or humiliation or
denigration.
Right. From a sexual partner. I don't think that's what women are looking for in a sexual partner.
But you know what's sad is that I bet there's a whole lot of boys out there who are great guys. And unfortunately, because they're curious, they start watching porn, they buy into it, and they think that that's what women want. Because a girl in porn will be like smiling when a guy calls her a name. She'll be like, oh yeah, and that's telling them, oh, that's what girls like. I get it. They're following a script. I mean, they're doing exactly what they've been taught through porn.
Yes.